Hey, man, I gotta say this. This here, I'm so annoyed by it. I got this bump. I don't know where I got it. I must have bumped my head at some point in my life, like a long time ago. And it's always there. And with the right light, like right now, I even went to a plastic surgeon once. And I was like, can you do something about this? And he was like, yeah, sure. Botox. And I was like, what's Botox going to do about the bump? And he's like, what? Oh, the bump. He wanted to give me Botox because of this. And then he told me the bump, man. I mean, we can try, but it's like in the bone. So if we like saw it or something, it might turn into like a crater. So how about you just live with it? And then about that Botox. Okay. So this one's gonna be a medical episode. First of all, thank you guys for your good wishes for my doctor's appointment last week. It was kind of sweet. The appointment went well. I'm going to tell you about that in a little while because I've decided to make this AMA, I think it's the 15th Ask Me Anything episode about MS, multiple sclerosis. Kind of a clunky word. I guess that's why everybody calls it MS, or maybe because MS doesn't sound as scary. Like the sclerosis part, it just sounds really bad. MS sounds like it could be Microsoft, Minnesota, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to talk about my MS. I can't talk about MS in general because it's different in everybody, in every patient. It has a different form. It looks different. My doctor once told me it was the illness of 1,000 faces and told me I got one of them. So I can't talk about MS in general. I can only talk about my personal MS and what it meant for the walk. I got to make a disclaimer before, though. This video is not going to be medical advice, and I don't want you to treat it as such. If you suspect yourself of having MS, or if you do have MS, don't look stuff up on the internet. Shouldn't be doing that. You should find a doctor, a qualified neurologist, and you should talk to them. And if you feel like they're not good for whatever reason, find a different one. Don't listen to idiots on the internet, including this one. Also, I'm not looking for your advice. This sounds kind of harsh, but it's the truth. Like, if you don't have MS, if you're not a neurologist, don't tell me what you think I should be doing. Don't tell me the stuff that you read on the internet. Don't talk to me about treatments, about vitamins, and sure as hell, don't talk to me about crystals. I don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. Just shut it. All right. With that out of the way, if you got MS, first of all, high five. Somebody had to get it, and it's me, and it's you. So, yeah, I don't know if I can welcome you into the club or you welcome me into the club, but we're in the club. And if you want to send me a message, again, not for medical advice, but just to say like, hi, I'm cool too. You're welcome to do that. I remember in the beginning when I made it public that I had MS, an old lady sent me a message and she was very sweet. She said like, listen, man, I'm like 70 plus. I stopped taking my medication. I'm fine. You'll be fine. And that felt good. It wasn't medical advice, but it felt good. So I would like to do the same. To just reach out and be like, I'm here. All right. So about this one, about my MS, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't really talk about it very much. Like I didn't put it in my profile. There are a few reasons. The first one being that I think it's weird to share your private medical stuff on the internet with the public. Like, it's not that I mind. It's not like I don't want people to know, but it just feels like it might be too much information. Nobody asked for it, and then you're like, listen to me about my medical stuff. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is that I don't want to be stigmatized. Like, I don't want to be the guy that walks around and has MS. No. I would much rather like to be the guy who walks around and is an idiot. That's me. I'm fine with that. And the third reason being, I don't want to give off the impression that I'm looking for pity. You know? Like, oh, I got it so bad. I'm sick. It's incurable. It's a mess. It's got a very scary name. I don't want to do that. It feels wrong. And also, it feels disrespectful to the other people in the club who have it much worse than me. Because, like I said, MS can have many different forms. It can look very different. There are people out there who have it very bad, and it would just feel really wrong to be like, I'm the guy with MS, when they got it really bad. Last year in spring, after my walk-in was finished, my insurance company, they told me that I could go to some conference about MS, meet some other patients, talk to them, ask questions to some experts. So I went there. It was like in this fancy half castle, half hospital kind of place, like a sanatorium. I had to take a train there. And when I get there, like everybody, all the other patients, they're either in a wheelchair or on crutches. I felt so bad. I felt crushed. Like, first of all, I felt like, what if that is my future? Like, I don't want that. They don't want it. I don't want it. And then second of all, I'm such a dick. Like, they have it really bad. And they're here. And now I show up after walking thousands of kilometers of the longest way. And I just kind of stroll over to the buffet and grab a Coke. And then I'm like, so, anyone else here take omega-3? Is that good? Yeah? Or like, can we still get wasted sometimes? Or like, because the expert, he told us to not smoke, which wasn't very well received by everybody. But I was like, so if smoking is bad, but can we smoke pure weed? Is that okay? Which elicited some laughs from the wheelchair faction. But yeah, I'm just trying to illustrate the point that it can be really bad, MS, and I'm not sure what my MS is going to be like in the future, but I just don't want to run around and be like, look at me, MS guy, Don't want to do that. You can imagine, though, playing Settlers of Catan with me, and I'm like, dude, I need your 2 sheep. I got MS. I got it bad. Give it a sheep. So, I'm back to the subject, my MS. First of all, how did I notice that something was wrong? I remember it was in 2018 that I suddenly had this weird tingling feeling in my pinky. I remember writing about it in my diary, being like, man, that's weird. And then it went away. And then after that, sometimes like I would feel fatigued. I would feel just weird in my body. And I remember specifically during COVID in Georgia, I had this feeling like I need sugar. You know that feeling? Like when one Snickers bar can make you normal again. That feeling? Like you feel a bit lightheaded and weak. So I had that feeling for a while. And at some point I went, and after all the Snickers bars didn't help, I went to a pharmacy and I got a little blood pressure measuring thingy. And I measured, and then sometimes it was a bit high, but not much. And it kind of felt like it shouldn't be that. And so the next time I was in Germany to get my COVID shot, and don't tell me I got MS because of COVID or because of the COVID shots. Don't. I got the shot, and then like a week later, oh man, this is going to be so bad. With the conspiracy theorists who are like, a week later, you say? A week later, I went to the neurologist, and I was like, yeah, I'm feeling weird. Like, just generally weird. Can you please check? And it's so spooky because I remember telling her I might have MS, and she's like, what makes you think that? And I was like, I don't know, I just feels like it could be that. I didn't want it to be that. But then she put me in an MRI and she's like, oh, ooh. And then they took the brain fluid. I mean, that was horrible. I cried and I cried. It's just horrifying. And then after that, she told me, yeah, you got MS. Light case, it seems like, but you got MS. So then I had MS. What does it feel like to have MS in my case? Well, first of all, my right side feels weaker than my left side. It's not like very measurable. It's just like a feeling thing. Like, for example, when I walk like a distance, after a while, I will feel like my right foot, it taps on the ground just heavier than the left foot because it just takes more energy to lift that foot because that side is weaker. My right hand, same. I can still walk around. I can still like do stuff. I go swimming 2-3 times a week. It just feels like it's off. Another thing is the fatigue. You've heard about fatigue during COVID and after. I got a sense of fatigue. It's like when your body is heavy, like your arms are heavy, just like after a workout. You know that feeling? Like it's a good feeling actually, if you have worked out. You know, like when I go swimming, I'm not a very good swimmer, but I can do laps and I do like 2,000 meters and it's fine. And then I come out and my whole body is heavy, especially my arms. And then it feels right because it feels like that heaviness is from the workout. But in my case, I got that heaviness, almost the same heaviness all the time. I got it before swimming. I got it after getting up in the morning. I got it now. Like my arms, they feel heavier than they should. My legs, they feel heavier than they should. Just my whole existence got a little bit heavier. So that's a feeling that is there. It's not always noticeable, but when I pay attention to my body, to myself, then I notice. Another thing is a bit embarrassing, but I'm going to say it anyway. Fuck it. It's this thing where I notice very late that I have to use the bathroom. Like I have to pee. Like I'd be running around doing stuff for hours and I'd be like, I don't have to pee. Peeing is not even a thing I think about. And then suddenly it's there. And then it's there with a force. I'm like, hey, peeing would be nice. Oh God, I gotta pee. Like that. And it's really annoying because, you know, like if you feel it coming on like slowly, you might take your time and be like, I'm going to pee in 20 minutes. I'm going to pee in 30 minutes. I'm going to pee in an hour. But for me, no. Those 20 minutes, those 30 minutes, that hour, I'd be like, no pee. And then after an hour, it sets in and I'm like, pee now. There's nothing on my mind except for peeing. So, yeah, it has created situations where I've actually left a train, like a subway train, because there was no restroom on it. And I was like, no, I can't get to the destination. I got to take the next one. First, I got to run out and find a place. Yeah. Take walks around town, pee on trees, pee in a forest. I know it's not nice. It's not polite. It feels kind of aggressive, especially as a dude, to run around and pee everywhere. I don't do it on purpose. I'm sorry. I have a little card that I carry around in my wallet that says I have MS, and I'm always prepared to kind of be balked at by an angry person and then be like, sorry, I had to pee because I have it really bad. I got MS, you know. And I hope they don't think I'm just fucking with them because it's the truth. But yeah, anyway, that's a thing. That's really an annoying thing. If you see me walk like faster than I should, it's probably because of that. Yeah. So yeah, that's the MS. It's mainly the right side is a bit weaker. I feel fatigue, and sometimes I gotta pee really, really, really bad. But I'm taking. No, actually, don't. I don't take anything right now. When I got diagnosed, immediately, like in 2001, my doctor told me to take a medication. I'm going to tell you the name, but it's not a recommendation. It's not an endorsement. I'm just going to tell you because why not? My doctor told me to take Copaxone. It's a very established medication for MS. I've had people tell me that it's bad for some reason, like it's not state of the art, whatever. I talked to my doctor about it. I talked to another doctor about it, and they were like, dude, for you, it's fine. Just use this one. So I've been taking it until last Saturday. Last Saturday was my last injection. That doctor's appointment that I went to last Friday, Thursday and Friday, my doctor told me, you're done. You have taken your last set of injections. You don't need to anymore. The Copaxone thing was a bit of a headache at first because they're injections. So you got to inject yourself 12 times a month, 3 times a week. And then the syringes, like with the stuff in them, they have to be kept between, I think, 7 degrees Celsius and 25 or something. So they can't freeze, for sure, and they can't get too hot. But then, like, how do you do that when you're trying to walk home from, at that point, I was, like, in the middle of Turkey, you know, quite a bit of a way from here. And so in the beginning, I was like, am I supposed to, like, lug around a fridge in a caboose? And then it turned out I didn't have to. I took a thermos, like a Stanley flask, and then I took cool packs. And so in the summer, in the winter, I would always make sure that the medication was fine. It was a bit of a hassle to even get it because in some countries it's difficult to get. I remember one time traveling all the way from Romania by bus to Belgrade in Serbia because somebody, a friend in Belgrade told me he can get it. But in Romania, at that point, it was a bit difficult. So there was a bit of a hassle there. But it also felt exciting, you know, like you're solving problems and you're kind of maybe even cheating the system, you know, because you're like, oh, do you know someone who knows someone who, like, can get the stuff? I need the juice. And so, yeah, you get the juice. And then you inject yourself. I've always enjoyed the injections. I got to say that non-ironically, 2 reasons. The first reason being that I felt like a man. I felt like if I can take the syringe and inject myself, that's a pretty manly thing. Like, I'm not such a sissy after all. And the second reason being that I felt like I'm doing something good for myself because my doctor and another doctor had told me that this was good for me. And then with MS being so scary and being so unpredictable and everybody just going like, oh man, like we don't know where this is going to go. It felt really good that I'm doing the best I can. And like even while walking, I'm taking my shots and I'm taking it very seriously. I've never missed a shot during these whole 4 years. Like every month, 12 shots. And so I like that. And so the last shot on Saturday was kind of emotional. You know, like you take it out and you're like, man, you're the last one. And then you push it in and you're like, yeah, bye-bye, Copaxone. So I guess we've talked about almost everything. No, we haven't talked about the main point of the video, walk-in and MS. Because remember, I'm the guy who walks, but I'm also an idiot. And yeah, I get MS. So what was that like? What was walking like with the MS? I've already talked about the difficulty of obtaining the medication, of keeping it at a temperature. Apart from that, it was really just a loss of strength, basically. Like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I would feel practically invincible when it comes to walking. Like, I can pull off a 50K a day. I did 60 plus. And it was difficult. And I almost broke down, but I could do it. Now, I wouldn't dare. Like, I've done 40 with MS, 35, but it's difficult. I'm just not as fit anymore. That's what it feels like. I mean, also I'm getting older, but yeah, I just feel heavier and weaker. But I don't know. It's kind of scary to think like, your body isn't what it used to be. But then also, that's life, no? I remember watching this John Cena interview the other day, and he said like he likes wrestling so much he would do it for free, but he just can't anymore. Like his body won't allow it, and that's kind of what it feels like. I don't think that right now in this state I would have the confidence to walk from Beijing to my home in Germany. I don't think it's something that I absolutely shouldn't try, but I wouldn't feel as confident. I would feel like, man, that's difficult. There are a lot of long stretches that might turn out to be maybe too difficult because I'm not all there. So, the moral of the story, it's going to be cheesy. It's going to be like an inspirational Instagram post. I'm very sorry. Is do it while you can. I'm so happy that for whatever idiotic reason, I didn't put off the whole walking thing until the time was right. First of all, the time is never right. And then second of all, what if something happens? What if you get diagnosed with something and then you just don't feel able to do it anymore? So, the final message. If you feel like there is something that you need to do, there is some adventure that is for you, do it. Don't come to me for approval. Like I get these emails and it's like, I want to cycle through Africa. Can you talk to my parents? I'm like, no, dude. Your parents are right. Like, you shouldn't cycle through Africa. But in my heart, I think do it. Fuck them. Fuck everybody. Do it. I just don't want to tell people because I want you to do it on your own. Not with encouragement, not with approval, but do it on your own. There might be a time when, your cards have changed and not for the better. So if the adventure is calling you, you know what to do. Finally, as always, thanks for watching, and my fellow MS sisters and brothers, you're goddamn coolios. High five. Peace, everyone.